Did you know that Rwanda has the highest number of women in parliament worldwide? Intriguing, isn't it? Today we take you on a journey to this small East African country, a nation that has emerged from the shadows of a devastating genocide to become a beacon of hope for gender equality. Rwanda, once embroiled in a whirlwind of conflict and despair, has remarkably turned the tide, with women stepping up as the architects of its transformation. These women, resilient and indomitable, have not only rebuilt their communities, but also shaped a new narrative for their nation. In the heart of Africa, they are tearing down the barriers of patriarchy, challenging the norms, and leading the way in creating an inclusive society. From the parliament to the grassroots, their influence is profound and far-reaching. So, let's set off on this captivating journey as we delve into the inspiring stories of these Rwandan women. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fascinating journey of these women. The year 1994 marked one of the darkest periods in Rwanda's history, a chilling echo of a time that left a deep scar on the heart of this African nation. This was the year when an unimaginable horror unfolded, a genocide that shook the world to its core. Over a span of a mere 100 days, close to 1 million lives were lost, leaving a nation in ruins. The scale of this atrocity was beyond comprehension, and the aftermath, a country devastated, a population decimated, and a generation of women left to pick up the shattered pieces of a society torn apart by hate. The genocide had a particularly brutal impact on women. They became targets of unspeakable violence, often used as a weapon of war. Countless women were left widowed. Many became victims of sexual violence, and others were burdened with the responsibility of caring for orphaned children. The fabric of Rwanda's society was ripped apart, and women bore a disproportionate share of the suffering. But even as we recount this grim chapter of history, it's essential to remember that these dark days did not define the spirit of Rwandan women. Instead, it was a crucible that forged their resilience. In the face of unimaginable hardship, they rose to the occasion, demonstrating an unyielding strength and an indomitable will to survive. The aftermath of the genocide left a gaping void in Rwanda's population and society. With a significant portion of the male population lost, women found themselves making up 70% of the surviving population. They were thrust into roles and responsibilities they had never before shouldered. This was a turning point. Women were no longer confined to traditional roles. They had to step up, rebuild, and lead. It was a daunting task, but they faced it head-on, laying the groundwork for the new Rwanda. But from these ashes, a new Rwanda was to rise, with women taking the helm. A nation reborn, not in spite of its women, but because of them. From the ashes of despair, they forged a beacon of hope, illuminating a path towards a future where women are not just survivors, but leaders. In the aftermath of the genocide, a dramatic shift began to occur. The tragedy had left a void that was vast and deep, and it was the women of Rwanda who stepped up to fill it. They had survived unimaginable horror, and yet they found the strength to rise from the ashes. In the face of adversity, the women of Rwanda demonstrated a resilience that was nothing short of extraordinary. They banded together, forming organizations and cooperatives. These were not just support groups, they were a testament to their determination to rebuild their nation. They took on the roles traditionally held by men, becoming leaders in their communities. They were the backbone of the recovery process, working tirelessly to bring about change. One such example is the Association of the Widows of the Genocide. Formed in the wake of the tragedy, this organization aimed to help women regain their livelihoods. They provided skills, training, counseling, and support, strengthening the fabric of their society, one woman at a time. Then there were the cooperatives, groups of women coming together to create economic opportunities. They ventured into sectors like agriculture, crafts, and small-scale industries. Here, they found not just a means to earn a living, but also a sense of purpose and community. These organizations and cooperatives were more than just platforms for economic growth. They were spaces for healing, for empowerment. They were a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Rwandan women, a beacon of hope in a time of despair. But perhaps, most importantly, they were a catalyst for change. They challenged societal norms, breaking down barriers and paving the way for women to take on leadership roles. They demonstrated that women were not just capable of surviving, they were capable of leading. And so, in the face of devastation, the women of Rwanda chose to rise. They chose to fight, they chose to lead. A new era had begun. Women were no longer just survivors, they were change makers. In a remarkable turn of events, Rwanda now boasts the highest number of women in parliament worldwide. Imagine, a country once known for its devastating genocide is now leading the world in terms of women representation in its government. How did this happen, you may ask? It's a tale of resilience, courage, and a strong commitment to gender equality. Following the genocide in 1994, Rwanda was left with a population that was approximately 70% female. As the nation sought to rebuild, women stepped up to fill the void left by the conflict, taking on roles traditionally filled by men, and that included positions of political leadership. The women of Rwanda didn't just fill seats, they transformed the political landscape. They made sure that the country's new constitution, adopted in 2003, included a quota mandating that at least 30% of parliamentary seats be filled by women, but they didn't stop there. As of today, more than 60% of the seats in the Rwandan parliament are occupied by women. This is the highest percentage of any country in the world. And what does this mean for the citizens of Rwanda? It means that policies and laws are being shaped by a gender-balanced perspective. Women in the Rwandan parliament have championed laws against gender-based violence, they've pushed for land rights for women, and they've been instrumental in promoting girls' education. These policies are not just transforming the lives of women and girls in Rwanda, they're reshaping the future of the entire nation. With women at the helm, Rwanda has become a shining example of gender equality in action, a beacon of hope for nations around the world. It's proof that when women are given the chance, they can lead with strength, wisdom, and compassion. But don't be mistaken, this is not the end of the story. This powerhouse of women leaders was just getting started. The women of Rwanda are not resting on their laurels. They're continuing to push for progress, to break down barriers, and to create a world where every girl can grow up knowing that she can be a leader too. Women's economic empowerment is a key factor in Rwanda's growth story. This is not just an assertion, but a truth backed by the relentless efforts of the women of Rwanda, who have been instrumental in shaping the nation's economic landscape. Let's journey through the verdant fields of Rwanda, where women form the backbone of the agricultural sector. In fact, it's estimated that up to 70% of the country's agricultural workforce are women. They manage the cultivation, marketing, and selling of crops, thus playing a pivotal role in the country's food security and rural economy. But the economic footprint of these women isn't confined to the fields. In recent years, there's been a burgeoning growth of women entrepreneurs in Rwanda. From small-scale traders to owners of thriving business enterprises, women are making their mark in the world of commerce. Take a moment to consider the story of Agnes Mukamushinja, a coffee farmer who has grown her single-hectare farm into a prosperous business. Her success story is not an isolated one. Across Rwanda, women like Agnes are breaking the glass ceiling, proving that entrepreneurship isn't a man's world. But this isn't just about individual success stories. Women's economic empowerment has a far-reaching impact. It is linked to poverty reduction, improved health and education outcomes, and overall economic growth. In Rwanda, as more women enter the workforce and start businesses, they not only uplift their own lives, but also contribute to the nation's socioeconomic development. Yet it's not just about economic numbers. We can't forget the social transformation that's taking place. As women gain economic independence, they are challenging traditional gender norms and reshaping societal attitudes. They are becoming role models for the next generation, showing that women too can be successful entrepreneurs and leaders. The resilience and tenacity of these women are truly awe-inspiring. Their journey of economic empowerment serves as a beacon of hope, not just for Rwanda, but for countries around the world. It shows that when women are empowered, they can play a transformative role in society and economy. Despite their remarkable progress, Rwandan women still face significant challenges. In a society still marked by traditional gender roles, Rwandan women are often expected to maintain the household and care for the family, limiting their time and ability to engage in economic or political activities. But that's not all. These women also grapple with limited access to resources. Despite contributing significantly to the nation's agriculture, many women farmers lack access to land, credit, and modern farming tools. This imbalance not only hampers their productivity, but also their ability to rise out of poverty. Let's not forget the elephant in the room: gender-based violence. In a post-conflict nation like Rwanda, the scars of war and violence run deep, women are often on the receiving end of this societal ill, facing both physical and psychological trauma. Yet despite these daunting challenges, Rwandan women continue to triumph. They're not just survivors, they're warriors, leaders, and change makers. They've taken their struggles and channeled them into a force for change. Take the women in parliament, for example. They didn't just break the glass ceiling, they shattered it, making Rwanda the first country in the world with a majority female parliament. They're using their voices and positions to champion women's rights and gender equality, changing the narrative for future generations. Or consider the cooperatives formed by women farmers. They're pooling resources, sharing knowledge, and collectively bargaining for better market prices. These cooperatives are more than just a means to economic independence, they're a beacon of unity and strength in a male-dominated field. And let's not forget the countless women and girls who've stood up against gender-based violence. They're not just victims, they're advocates fighting for justice and creating safe spaces for survivors. The journey is tough, but these women are tougher. They've turned adversity into opportunity and challenges into victories. It's a testament to their resilience, their courage, and their indomitable spirit. They're not just changing their lives, they're changing Rwanda. The future of Rwanda is undoubtedly female. There's an unmistakable energy in the air, a powerful current of change that's transforming the nation from within. The women of Rwanda are at the helm of this transformation, steering their country towards a future that's bright, equitable, and brimming with possibilities. In this new era, the women of Rwanda are not just participants, but pioneers. They're breaking down barriers, challenging stereotypes, and redefining what's possible. They're the trailblazers in politics, the innovators in business, the educators shaping the minds of the next generation. They're at the forefront of every field, leading the way towards a future that's inclusive and empowering. What's more, the Rwandan government continues to make strides in promoting gender equality. Legislation is being passed, policies are being implemented, and societal norms are being challenged. The government recognizes that the empowerment of women is not just a moral imperative, but a strategic one. After all, when women thrive, societies thrive. But beyond the halls of parliament and the boardrooms of corporations, the change is tangible. It can be seen in the bustling markets of Kigali, where women entrepreneurs are thriving. It can be felt in the classrooms where girls are being encouraged to dream big. It can be heard in the stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things, their voices echoing with resilience, determination, and hope. Yet the journey towards gender equality is far from over. There are still hurdles to overcome, challenges to face. But the women of Rwanda are not deterred. They are persistent, resilient, and relentless in their pursuit of a better future. They are the guardians of their nation's progress, the architects of their country's destiny. So as we look towards the future, one thing is clear. The women of Rwanda hold the keys to their nation's success. They are the embodiment of strength, resilience, and hope, continually proving that they are not just survivors of a dark past, but the architects of a brighter future. As we've seen, the women of Rwanda are not just survivors, they are leaders, builders, and the backbone of their nation. The story of Rwanda's women is a testament to resilience, courage, and the power of change. As we reach the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the remarkable transformation that unfolded in Rwanda. Emerging from the shadows of a tragic past, Rwandan women have proven that they are not just victims, but survivors and leaders. We've seen the dark days they endured, a time when their voices were silenced, their rights denied. But they didn't crumble under the weight of despair. Instead, they found strength in unity and began to rewrite their own narrative, turning a new page in their nation's history. They stepped into the political arena, daring to dream of a better future. Today, Rwanda has the highest percentage of women in parliament worldwide. It's not just a statistic, it's a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of women's leadership. Their economic empowerment was a game changer. From small-scale farming to entrepreneurship, women have been instrumental in rebuilding Rwanda's economy. They've shown that when women prosper, nations prosper. But the journey hasn't been smooth sailing. They've faced numerous challenges, both cultural and societal, yet they have triumphed, overcoming obstacles with sheer grit and determination. The narrative of Rwandan women is not just a story of survival, but also of leadership and empowerment. It's a narrative that embodies the phrase, "The future is female." Remember the question we started with? The question about the absurdly high number of women in leadership roles in Rwanda? The answer is clear. women's empowerment isn't just a catchphrase in Rwanda, it's a living reality. This journey has shown us that every challenge is an opportunity in disguise, and every setback is a setup for a comeback. The women of Rwanda are testament to this, and their story continues to inspire millions around the world. If this story has moved you, inspired you, or made you think, subscribe now for more exciting and inspiring stories like this one.